Okay. So we're going to hop in here. So Jehovah Nova, great name. I will tell you right off the bat that you can pick whoever you damn well please. Okay? There are times where certain problems will arise in the game, and you can solve them with whatever character you choose, but you have to think creatively to get around those issues. And as long as you approach the game with a positive attitude and treat your teammates positively and ask questions, provide suggestions, and figure out things together, you can overcome anything. Or you can overcome pirate ship, you can overcome brawl, you can overcome dive, double shield, whatever it is. As long as you work together, that's the way to go. What's up, Danny Loop? Hey, my dude. All right, so let's check this out. Yo. This is the name that I want. You see this? McCary? I want this. Oh no, this guy's hasn't picked anything yet. Uh-oh. What's up, Danny Loop? Yo, Danny, how'd you find us? Oh, exquisite. Destroy it. Oh, you're a god. You're a god. Perfectly played. My fellow Overwatch players, you're playing a sim strat. You need at least one shield, 2 is best. Please, if you are the main shield, do not go through the teleporter first. Please. So here, Jehovah, I would actually encourage you to play above and behind the enemy team and continue to do the roles that you did. Don't play back here with your main tank. Oh my god, you're a god. Get inside. Yep. Okay, spin cycle. You gotta hit the same people as your team. Spreading your DPS a little here. So I think swinging back and forth on the TP actually cost you there. Once you do that first swing, go through and fight on the point. Will really hurt where the symmetry turret's there. Ball's mobility is ridiculous. It is, I agree. They ran that sim strat really well. Good for them. That's pretty damn good. Oh, get her. That sucks. That's so frustrating. Alright, so the Reinhardt is literally above you. Ball on point. Or ult, yep. When you kill those things, don't stand still. Never spin more than twice. Yeah. They're punishing you real quick. Yo, what's up, Jehovah? There you are. Oh, you're sad about the Mercy escaping with 1 HP? Yeah, I'd be pissed too. Good slam. That's a yikes from that Pharah. Nicely done. I don't know how you survived that, but you did, dude. So Jehovah, I'm not sure if you caught it, but I mentioned this right at the outside of the VOD. Pick whomever you please. You can take any character from any rank to the top if you'd like. It doesn't matter. You can main whatever you like. I'm glad that you used the language maining something instead of one trick pony. One trick is very negative. No negativity needed. Sometimes there are maps that are more difficult for Ball, and that's fine. Sometimes there are comps that are harder for him. That's fine. But as long as you stay positive and work creatively and work with your team, you can make it work all the time. So go ahead and play it. There's like nothing wrong with playing one guy. And also Ball's meta right now, so nobody's going to harp on you for playing Ball. Nobody should. And if they do, mute. Mute, mute, mute. But props for you for seeking help. The May's like, oh, I could take care of this one. Yeah, this is excellent. Yep, do it again. He's so fat. Yeah, you're trashing this team. Get up there and just do it again. If you can get up there and knock him down, it'd be legit. Oh, you almost hit the fair in the air. Save ult. Okay, glad you used ult. Nice. So the reason why I said save ult is because 2 enemies died. But then definitely use it because they used beat. I think the sim ult follow-up was also pretty legit. Yeah, there was the sim ult follow-up. Beat plus sim ult is really hard to get through. You like 100% need an EMP. Played well, but I think the thing to do there, if they keep running sim, so if a team is ever running Symmetra, guys, for everyone out there, this is a big tip for everyone. If a team is ever running Symmetra, be extra responsible by pressing tab as often as you can. Check up on their team comp as often as you can. You want to know when they swap off sim and when they swap onto sim, and like at all times. If they're still running Symmetra, what you do on point 2 for ball, you need to always start your rolls out from high ground. You want to play high ground so that you have vision of where the teleporters are, and so where you know where to roll through consistently. I think it may have been a little more effective there instead of forfeiting high ground and playing on the point. When they were TPing toward the end there, if you'd stayed high ground, you would have been able to knock people around and kind of slow the roll a little bit. But I honestly think that it might not have mattered at the end, because how did they win that? With a lot of Q. And you guys need like a Sombra or something. Just roll right through him. Crush him. Hell yeah. Do it again. You play like I do. This is great so far. There's actually, so look at their team comp, right? Soldier, Moira, Sig, Ryan, Mercy, Symmetra. They really don't have like an out-and-out stun aside from the rock. So if you grapple right here where my mouse is, where this little plus symbol is, you grapple here, you can just do what up, like you're a door. You're a door. You can just like swipe through and back and just harass them that way. That's exactly what you're doing. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you can't die when you do that because you keep getting heals on the way back. Nice E. Okay. So this is also something I see a lot of balls do that can definitely, if you change this up, this will really help your game. See this blue health you have down here for all the ball players out there? When you get that blue health, use it. When you're shot, when you have adaptive shields up, you don't surrender ultimate charge. So when you get this armor, use it. That's why it's sometimes more effective to try and get that armor earlier rather than later. Yeah. I mean, I feel you. I feel you.
Get together, have a
Oh. Jehovah, huge congratulations and a big thanks. The number here is probably messed up, but you are literally this channel's 500th follower. Huge thank you. Huge thank you. Thank you for your support, seriously. So, pretty awesome, dude. We're a very young channel. Also, so there are, like, I really like to look for, like, indicators in games. Things that tell me what's going on, and they're not always, like, they're like liminal statistics. Things you see in between. So one thing I see you consistently doing here, you're clearing the the Symmetra turrets. Nobody on your team is. Nobody else is helping you. Like, there are a number of characters on this comp that are better at clearing Symmetra turrets than you, but you are the one consistently doing it. And to me, what that indicates to me is that your game sense and your awareness outstrip, outperform, outstand from this bracket. And so what that means is that you may occasionally be like forcing yourself to make plays because you're consistently hitting 3, 4, 5-man stomps, 6-man slams, excuse me. And that's a huge deal. That's like a ton of damage. Usually in higher brackets, a 5-man slam is enough to win a fight. But here, not so much. So your team isn't rewarding you for your excellent game sense, but what can make the difference here? What can bridge the gap between your team's understanding of the game and your understanding of the game is if you step in and keep eyes on your team when you're attacking. Look for when they're exerting pressure, then you should exert pressure at the exact same time. That's basically how you can make your skills work in a lower bracket than where you belong. Yeah, but this looks to me a lot like you're overperforming. I think you're dead here. Yeah. Oh my God, lamp. Okay. You can actually jump from those stairs and slam. You're such a dick. Oh, use the shield. Yeah, bro. I literally haven't seen anyone on your team but you kill those Symmetra turrets. Oh my God. You absolutely destroyed that. I actually want to know. I want to know like where your team broke down. Like, what happened here? What happened on this push? Because you did all that you could and then some here. I just want to see what your team was up to. Where are the healers? He visored from the floor. There you go. Here's the answer. This is what happened. Bap died to a Reinhardt fighting him in the back line. I'm trying to think of like how you can fix this as a ball. I think you may have to leave point and actually go help your BAP. You may have to ferry your healers in. Yeah. This is hyper aggressive from him. I mean, to be quite frank, BAP should not die here. You see this button on your keyboard, Mr. Baptiste? The control key. If you press and hold it here, you can go here, and then this dude can't hit you anymore. So this actually may not be your fault. Like if I'm playing this game as ball and I look back, I'm like, oh look, our Reinhardt is charging my BAP and he's standing next to high ground. Like, okay, whatever, BAP's gonna exo boot jump and he's fine. So again, this is like you have excellent play, excellent game sense, but your team isn't rewarding you for it. So maybe to solve this, maybe you have to babysit a little bit more on ball. Okay, check this out. This may be the solution. So when you go back and forth through the enemy team, when you roll through them, which is exactly what you're doing, you're rolling through, you get a med kit, you roll through, get a med kit, roll through, get a med kit. That's exactly what you should be doing. You're even going above and beyond. When you roll through, you'll roll through, get a med kit. While the cooldown is coming up, you'll reposition and shoot the enemy team and then roll through and then reposition, shoot the enemy team and roll through. You're like getting insane value. When you roll through like that, keep an eye on your healers in this bracket. Try to babysit them a little more. I think that may be the solution here. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that's my guess. This is actually really well played. Spin cycle a little too much, but you killed people, stopped a res, knocked people off. Like, do you know how valuable it is that you cliffed, that you sent her packing? She couldn't be resurrected. That's so valuable. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, see? What's this? This is you trying to make something happen. That's what this is. If your Reinhardt goes in first, you can maybe get a little more out of your ball pit. But this isn't necessarily bad, because the silver lining here is, if this Reinhardt loses his shield, you set up your team for hammer. Put too much value into a team fight? Yeah. Really keep an eye on like the core parts of your team. Like, where's the main tank? Where's the main heals? Keep them alive. Yeah. So stun is down. Moira ult is down. This Reinhardt needs to be super aggressive here, because there's nothing there to stop his hammer. And he's hiding. Like, you're literally serving people up on a plate by booping them into your team. That's the worst. I hate that, dude. I think that was a triple reload. If that Lucio hit him with one click, one boop, one fart, he would have died. Ugh. Another indicator that I've seen throughout your play here that really lets me know that you know what you're doing. If you get a hook and you get a spin and it doesn't turn out really well, like on that Sigma on defense right there on the choke, you immediately switch targets. You undid your hook and you went for the soldier on point, because you knew that was a more high value target at that moment. Took him out. And then if you do hold on, you're holding on so that you can swing back in, and it's still effective. Like, your on the fly calculus is pretty damn good. He tried to get a jump slam. Uh-oh. Nice. You're like, out of the way. You honestly should have died there to the charge, but that's okay. Yeah. So, I think a thing for you to change is you may be using ball pit too early. You want to get kills with ball pit, not necessarily just break shields. Although breaking shields should still be insanely valuable, because your team should follow up on that. But yeah, you got a ball pit here. See what happens. Jesus. Main heals down. I literally think, if I'm not mistaken, I literally think the Junkrat on your team walked onto point and then spent the entire time shooting the symmetry turrets. Right? Is that what happened here? Yeah, I want to see what he did here. No, his tire killed him. Just a big lift. I'm trying to think. Like, what like tips can I give you that will help your game? Let's see, Mr. Clint. What's this question here? Okay, so ult tracking. It really depends on your tank line. If you've got like ball hog, all you got to do is press tab, look at where your team is, and then add like 30. Literally. That's how you do it. Where's my team? Oh, we're at 50%? Oh, okay, they're at 85. There you go. The MMR SR bracket works so well that if you're playing comp, you can also press tab, look at where your team is in terms of ultimate, and it's likely the enemy team is somewhere similar on like King of the Hill maps. It's just that kind of game sense comes from watching a shitload of death cams. Watch a ton of death cams. Hold up, Jehovah. I'll get some tips here in a sec. So watch all your death cams. Relay to your team where people's ultimate percentages are when you die to someone. Oftentimes it comes from like knowing how people position themselves when they want to use an ultimate. Like if a Zarya wants to grab, is she going to sit in the back? No. She's going to stand in the front. She'll be a little more obvious about it. What about a Reinhardt? He'll take his shield down. Things like that. The way I also look at it in this game is like, you know the phenomena that exists in this game when someone ults? Like one dude ults. I mean, we saw it there on point 2, right? One ult, one ult, one ult, one ult, one ult, one ult. And it just goes back and forth, right? So cooldowns work in the same way. If a ball rolls through, someone's going to use their stun. It could be a hook, could be a McCree stun, could be a rock out of a Sigma. Someone's going to use a stun. Maybe 2 people are going to use a stun. Could be a Brig stun in there somewhere. So with those stuns down, you could go in, create pressure. They're going to reply with the remainder of their stuns. Then they're stunless for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then you have a window. So it's like a lot about just processing the patterns about how people reply with skills. The way I like to think about it is like there's this old game where you get a baseball bat and like who gets to hit first? Whoever's fist ends up on top, and you're just like, right? Okay, I'm on top, so I can hit first. The game functions very similarly. People just reply. It's like, okay, what do you got? 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 Pay attention to those waves of how your team is using cooldowns, and the other team is likely doing something similar, and then you can kind of find the in-between spots. That's awful advice. Actually, you know what would help the most? If I did live coaching and kind of told you when windows were. When like, oh, there's no cooldowns, go ahead. Like, oh, sleep is used. Go time, right? Hooks down, go for it. When you get up into high enough SR, people usually communicate that stuff. Okay, so Jehovah. So I think the biggest tip for you, and I'm going to challenge you with this, your awareness is so developed, like almost every time you were fighting there, you were trying to make something happen. You're trying to get a kill, trying to push people into your team. You're trying to manufacture something. Yeah, voice comms do suck, yeah. So they will get better. They will get better. But I think what's happening is that your team in gold is not equipped or developed enough to, or teams generally in this bracket aren't developed enough to take advantage of the opportunities that you are providing. And that's not an indictment on gold players at all. It's just that stuff like that shows up later in the game. So how do you bridge that gap? You have to figure out a way to bridge that gap. And I think one of the ways you do it, pick the main heals on your team. Is it BAP? Is it Mercy? Anna? Right? Pick the main heals. Pick the main tank. Where's my Reinhardt? Where's my Sigma? Find those 2 characters, those 2 players, and babysit. Babysit them. Protect them. Babysit them. I think that'll be a big thing for you. And then once you get up into the high platinum, like 26, 27, 28, 2900, you don't have to do that anymore. All you have to do is tell your team when you're going in. What's up, Gaben? Yeah, and like fractions of a second sometimes. Like, yeah, it's this game is fast. It's like it's like hyperspeed chess. 3-dimensional hyperspeed chess. So I think that'll be the biggest thing for you, Jehovah. Another thing I'll recommend, instead of overlaying like a Reinhardt or a Sigma, instead of putting them in the middle of your ball pit, try to put squishies in the middle of your ball pit on point one Hanamura offense. Put the ball pit behind them. If it's behind them, like, you know that little dip before you hit the point, put it in the dip right there, not necessarily in choke or on the point itself. Put it there. It may look weird, and they're going to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. This looks awful. Swing back in, and then swing through and start shoving people into it. I think that's the way to do it. If in your games, if you are trying to take out main tanks with ball pit, they're just going to destroy the ball pit with their shields. But if you put it down and then shove people into it, I think you're actually so good with your game sense and your like positional understanding that I think that if you change up the way you use your ultimate, and you like create a death pit, and then you're like, I'm just going to start knocking people into it, I think you'll get better results. I think. Because right now at 2200, if a Rhine breaks his shield, your team's not going to pressure as evidenced by your team there. But in high 2K, that shield goes down, your team's pressing W, and they're getting kills straight up. So it's like it's like a question about like, how do I help them? How do I help my teammates' games, basically? Yeah, go for squishies. Try creating like a death area and then knocking people into it. You're good enough to make that happen. What else can I tell you? I don't know. There's really like not much else. The way I like to do it as ball is like, I will hide and I will just look at my team, and like I will look at what they're doing through the wall and be like, okay, are they fighting? Are they fighting? Okay, now my Reinhardt's swinging. Now I'm going to go in. And then I'll wait for those moments instead of just kind of like continuously going back and forth. And Jehovah, if you do stick around, you don't have to. What I would love to see, I challenged a ball player yesterday doing the same thing. I would love to see a VOD from you against a Sombra. I would love to see how you handle a Sombra. I want to see you play ball into Sombra. Because that requires, I think your game sense is developed enough for you to be able to make it work, and I'd love to see how you do it. I would love to see it. I can't believe the other team did not swap into stun to deal with you. You were destroying that game. Yeah, I think that's about it. Find the main tank, the main heal, babysit. Wait for your team to go in, be offensive then. Use ball pits on squishies, and that's about it. You look like you were smurfing here a little bit, and that you were trying to like manufacture progress for your team when they themselves were having issues with other things. But stellar ball play, dude. Great play. Yep. Mr. Clean. Yep. This. Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we've been fighting this fight. Like, I've died twice and come back and we're still fighting. Like, let's make something happen here. I do know that. But yeah, Jehovah, it just looked like you were trying to make things happen. And it's not a bad thing at all. It's just got to change the way you approach the game for this bracket. Once you get back up into like high platinum, go back to the way you're playing right now, and it'll be rewarded by your team. Yeah. You only started playing Overwatch last season? Bro. Holy shit. That's impressive. Good for you. What'd you play before? If you don't mind me asking. You don't feel obliged to answer. I'm just curious. You went from console to mouse and keyboard? Holy shit.